issues we're dealing with, fish flows for the Habitat Conservation Plan. A real key, very important piece of information that you really understand what we're wrestling with when it comes to trying to preserve our fish habitat and also balance our water needs. You'll also see a video over there of our Majors Diversion Dam. In 2010, we had a major rainstorm that blew out the hillside. Those are the type of operational things we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So it really stresses the fact that we have vulnerability in our system that really needs to be looked at in terms of these water projects. You'll see new regulations. Disinfection byproducts is one of them. We're trying to make the water more safe for people and also to meet these new regulations, and it's a challenge because you try to meet one need and you get a detrimental effect in another area. I had a couple projects in the booth over here, booth 2. I took a lot of ideas that are currently on the shelves, let's say, in our engineering department, and tweaked them a little bit and downsized them a little bit. One of the big ones that I'm trying to look at is how to better utilize the Felton Diversion Dam. It's a dam that pumps from the San Lorenzo River up to Loch Lomond. Currently, we're only pumping 5 days a year, and I'm hoping with some new improvements, we can get that up to 30 or 40 days per year and make that facility a little bit better. I put wells in here. Again, I don't want huge wells, but strategically placed wells. And then reclaimed water, there's some ideas there about that as well. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? My name is Candace Brown. I'm a member of the Santa Cruz community for the last 40 years. My solution is a water energy nexus, sustainable water source through ocean energy. Essentially, it's a free emission wave energy source for any of the water needs on this floor. Water is about 800 times more dense than wind. And because of that, it takes a lot of energy to move it. But at the same time, there's a lot of energy stored in it within the ocean. The energy generated requires a much smaller footprint than solar. UC Berkeley found that 10-meter blanket can create the same amount of energy as a soccer field of solar panels. So why is free emission energy essential? Well, we do know that we need to do our part to address climate change with sustainable energy, and yet water and energy are interlinked. In California, water-related energy use consumes 19% of the state electricity, 30% of its natural gas, and 88 billion gallons of diesel every year. And this demand is growing. And not only that, PG&E costs are projected to increase by over 27% in the next 5 years. So energy sourcing and costs cannot be ignored when finalizing a reliable water source for any of the options on this convention floor. The Water Energy Nexus solution is in booth 7 in the back, offers sustainable wave energy for water recycling, transfer, distribution, or conversion to create a quality and clean water source. So come by booth 7 and I'll talk more about the solution. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Heidi Luckenbach. I work with the City of Santa Cruz, and I'm here with my colleagues, Catherine Barrowman and Matt Zeman up here in the front. I think it's booth number 7. We're presenting today on 2 alternatives. One's the Zayene Dam project, and the other one is recycled water. Like Terry McKinney said, we kind of took a look through the studies that we've done historically at the city. We also have been hearing a lot from the community in terms of what their desires are in terms of water supply. The other thing that we factored on top of our decision to look at new projects was what's changed? What has changed in the last 30 or 40 years of looking into water supply? A couple things are climate change, the unknown impacts of climate change. Demand in the city of Santa Cruz has changed quite a bit, and our supply side has changed quite a bit. So with those things in mind, we came up with the Zayene Dam and recycled water. So Zayene Dam has been evaluated for about 5 decades in the city as well as the county of Santa Cruz. It was ultimately rejected in the mid-1980s for various reasons, primarily having to do with environmental issues. What makes it kind of intriguing for us today is Depending upon what climate change could do in this area, and some speculate that it may in fact cause the same amount of rainfall to occur in a shorter period of time, we want to be able to capture that rainfall. So having another dam to complement Loch Lomond Reservoir would allow us to do that. So if you want to hear about Zionny Dam, come talk with us over here. The other one being recycled water. I've heard a number of these projects talked about today. We offer a number of different concepts in addition to the ones we've heard earlier. But really the basic idea is we do in fact own and operate a wastewater treatment plant that we pump about 10 million gallons a day out to the bay. There are new regulations occurring now and that will continue to evolve into the future to make better beneficial use of that water. So some of the alternatives that we're looking at are groundwater recharge. We're also looking at irrigation and agricultural irrigation, and then potentially doing a seawater barrier down the coast of Santa Cruz. So Zionny Dam, recycled water, we're here in the front all day and would like to chat with you. Thank you.
So I'm Adrian Brozell. I'm from Zenano. I'm a Santa Cruz Mountains resident. And what our proposal is today is, if you look at energy, our use per capita has flatlined since the 1970s. And the reason that's happened in California is that we've incentivized people to save energy. So we've offered people rebates for installing energy-efficient appliances and doing energy-efficient things. And if you look at the way that the water rates are provided, there aren't actually many rebates, especially for custom programs that allow people to save water. So if we were to install one of our systems that saves, a laundromat 6,000 gallons a day, we'd actually get no rebate on that. And so our proposal is for the city to start setting aside money the same way that Santa Clara sets aside money to give rebates to custom water recycling projects or water saving projects. And if you think about what the impact of this could be, you could look at the EPA's data on household water use and quickly calculate that people could reduce their water consumption by 50%, their sewer outflows by 90%, without actually drinking toilet water or doing anything crazy. But really what it comes down to is the difference in financing structure. So if we were to build a desal plant or a big recycled water plant, the city is going to pay for that over 30 years. The total cost can be very expensive, but the monthly payment is pretty low. Whereas if you were to put a gray water system in your house, you'd expect a ROI of 3 to 5 years. So what the rebates do is they take some of the money that the city was going to use for this big infrastructure project, subsidizes the recycled water projects on site at people's homes, and it's a win-win for everybody. It allows people to choose how they want to recycle water and how they want to save water, as well as saving water and reducing sewer outflows. So that's what we are. We're booth 24. Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm Sue Holt. I'm in booth 17, and I also serve on the Water Supply Advisory Committee. You may not know it, but in a typical summer day, the City of Santa Cruz supplies water to users that use 10 million gallons. And what we've done this summer with the drought and drought restrictions is that we've cut our use 25%. That's pretty remarkable. I think we ought to give all of us a hand for that. The question is there more leverage left in this system, and how much more can we get at a low cost? You've heard lots of ideas here. I'd like to tell you about the free idea, and the free idea is the fact that water districts have to raise their rates as their costs go up. And we recently raised rates. We started this month, October 1st, with a 15% increase in rates. You can expect, based on the economics research, that people will cut back 5% more over the next year. And you can come to my booth and see the 16 different studies I have cited there that are available online. And over a longer period of time, we're going to have 5 years of rate increases. They'll raise our rates 61%. There's room in the system for us to cut back voluntarily another 40% of water use based in primarily on household studies, and I'd be really interested in talking about the caveats with this. We don't know what the margin of error is or that sort of thing, but what this means is that the best estimates suggest that somewhere between 500,000 and 4 million gallons a day can be saved simply by people adjusting to the ongoing rate increases. In other words, the additional cost of this program is zero. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Vince Chang from Dewpoint Manufacturing based in Vancouver, Canada. We have this little machine that actually harvests water vapor from the air and turns it into safe, clean drinking water. There's a lot of moisture in the air. It's basically unlimited. Our machine, one of our names that we call it is the bottomless rainmaker. And we're in table number 3 there. You guys have some water there. The cost for the machine, residential unit, is about $1,000. Operation costs per day is about 60 cents, and you're getting about 40 liters per day, or 8 gallons. So this is a great product. Environmental cost impact is virtually none, besides harvesting the energy. We do have an industrial unit, which does about 11,000 liters per day, and that would be more of industrial city size, but that can be stacked to supply the city if you get enough of them. Everyone talks about conservation. Conservation is great, but when it doesn't rain, it's like your bank account. If you don't have any income coming in, sooner or later it will dry up. Our machine is a water source that is unlimited. It doesn't matter if it doesn't rain for 3 years, 4 years, as long as there's humidity in the air, you will get water. That's our technology, and come by our booth at booth number 3. Take a look. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gerry Paul, inviting you to visit booth number 1, right here in the corner, where you'll find not just my lovely wife, Claire, but 45 different ideas of many different types crammed into the space. So you might have to get close and read smaller type. I'm a retired corporate strategy guy and an engineer, and I've spent 1,500 hours so far researching our water problem. And to start at the left, there's actually 4 sections there. The first section is a tutorial, things I found about quantities, size matters. How much water is there? How big are the aquifers versus Loch Lomond versus desal versus our consumption? Graphically represented for your easy retention. How does energy relate to elevation? When you hear about how much something costs, what important components are often omitted? You can use our friendly conversion chart for all these different units you're encountering in the room, like acre feet per year and cubic feet per second. You can actually see how they compare easily. To the right of that, there's strategic ideas that answer or ask and deal with such questions as, how do we deal with the water rights problem? Or should we go it alone or involve the neighbors? Or where should we divert water and store it? To the right of that are subsystems, which might be used to great advantage in many of the projects throughout the room, more than once. And to the right of that are complete projects, such as L'Aquifer, the cross-county pipeline, clean off-stream reservoirs, lockdown, the Cowell Railroad pipeline, the 41st Avenue intertie upgrade, and more. The results of asking the strategic question, what does it take when you think you found a fatal flaw? So to get a great grounding and breadth of 45 ideas, stop by booth number 1 earlier in your visit. You'll be glad you did. And pick up a conversion chart. Thank you.
I meant to start out this by saying this is a marvelous gathering of creative community input, and I would like to thank the Water Supply Advisory folks who put it together, and particularly Doug Enfer. So thank you, all of you.
I'll try using this. Is that good?